Hello and welcome to this best of 3 series between Opalbearblack and Chimbambu in the Warhammer League. Be sure to like and subscribe for more games, and let's get into it. Let's get into game 3. Seems to be Skaven against Beastmen. So with Skaven, I've been playing Skaven for like 3 weeks straight, and we have developed a bunch of tech when it comes to Skaven inside of RTK. So this is going to be an interesting see to which type of army Opal brought, because you can play this multiple ways. You can play it Skaven, just a Vermintide, like seemingly Opal is doing here, or you can do Storm Vermin Wall, or you can do Monster Mash. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do, but I see that he has Doom players, Night Runners, because he doesn't have the money for gutters. He doesn't basically want to give anything to the Beastman player that is high value to be targeted. He's going for a Gracier of Ruin, I assume with the Scorch. Scorch is just given by the Bell, but he also brought normal Scorch. This is to clear out any type of raiders that he might have. Dread the 13th, Unholy Clamor is the standard stuff, no passive. And this guy is very tanky when it comes to spell sniping. So if you want to snipe him with some sort of spells, he just has a lot of missile resist and a lot of spell resist for that. Other than this, we see Doom players, Mutant Rat Ogre, and it's just gonna be a bunch of Skaven Slaves and Clan Rat Spears, and two Doom players. Doom players are amazing in this matchup because Centigores technically kill the Doom players, but they can still fight back a lot, especially with the best defense. Like when they get into melee, they have 110 or 115 armor. So even if a Centigore charges them, after the initial charge, they're gonna do very low damage. They have kind of awkward animations for the rat guys. So they end up kind of winning any sort of cavalry engagements against stuff like, let's say, Dark Riders and relatively cheap non-armor piercing cav. They can actually beat them, even though they're technically chariots that are super good versus melee stuff. But with the addition to like stuff like Slangors and generally like Gores and mass infantry, these guys will do amazingly well. And there's just a bunch of slingers. These guys are super good. Even though you don't think a 200 gold slinger is going to do anything, over the course of the entire game, first, he's a slave. They're slaves. So they have like a ton of HP that you have to get through. They are terrible leadership, but this doesn't matter. They got strength in numbers in Lord. And they are just pew pew for the entire game. And what is the Beastman going to bring? Just a bunch of cheap crap. So anything that doesn't have a shield and has low armor is just going to get peppered through these guys for the entirety of the game. Now let's look at the Beastmen army. So Ungors, 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 Pestigors. Okay, so Pestigors and Morgur. Okay, so this tells us that Chimba might have been thinking that the Skaven would go for a Storm Vermin wall. Uh, Also, Death Shaman with Purple Sun and Spirit Leech. He 100% thought this Skaven player was gonna go for a Storm Vermin wall, and this is a lot of investment when it comes to Pestigores and Purple Sun into something that where are you gonna cast your Purple Sun when you see this Vermintide? Yeah, he's even backing up. He's giving the objective to this Skaven, which is unusual usually in this matchup. And yeah, he seems to be just stuck summoning in Angor Raiders now, because he knows that this army will uptrade into everything here, because everything here is actually designed to fight some elite stuff from the Skaven side. Yeah, and we see a bunch of units that are available for here. So they're just posturing, trying to get objectives. Similar to in game 2, I think that Chimba could have moved up and actually grabbed this objective and not yielded it to the Skaven. And yeah, we see Plague Monks coming out, Rat Ogres. Plague Monks are great into killing this type of infantry that like isn't super designed to kill something that is just super cheap. These guys are like what are they called? Forsaken. Similar to them. Like they have good charge, and just generally good damage into stuff like Ungors. Ungors aren't that great into everything. And yeah, seems Eshens are being summoned here. Eshens are the best unit to go Spec Ops with, probably on the Skaven roster. Unfortunate that Death Runners technically aren't that great because they're just so low HP. Eshens are much better. They have concealment bombs, so you're not gonna know that they're there. And they are anti-large, so if let's say a Centigore comes in here that wants to support this fight, they're gonna fight something that is like super designed to kill them, especially with the Weeping Blade, which is minus 50%. If anything, like a Razor Gore or something that actually has armor, or like Besties come into here, they're actually gonna win. They aren't the best into stuff like chaff, like here. And it seems that Opal is kind of going a bit back. I'm not sure about this. As a Skaven player, your main thing that you're very afraid of is getting stuffed back. Because if the enemy is fighting in your spawn, it's very difficult to get out of it, especially with Beastmen. Oh, this is a crazy Congo line. but especially as Beastmen, like, if they stuff you, they're just gonna shit out Centigores, and Centigores will keep you stuffed in that fight. But let's see how the main engagement starts. So, they're they're just looking at each other, it seems, and now come the charge orders into the Skaven. These guys are just slaves, nobody cares about them. Oh, this is a pretty bad Scorch. First pest, it missed, and it was too far away for the pesties. And yeah, Rat Ogres going into the Jabberslite. The Doomflayers technically should go over here, honestly, because there's Centigores here, there's a Jabberslite. Like, they're not going to do very well into all of these things. You should just leave the Jabberslite in some, like, Rat Ogres and support them with, like, Clan Rats and Spears. And just leave it there. Oh, Mutant Rat Ogre here. Oh, that's a dreaded 13th that basically did no damage. But it did summon a Storm Vermin Halberd, so it is very good here. And we have a Chaos Spawn summon in the backline, technically here, to also... Nice charge from the Centigores onto the Doom player, I assume. And they're gonna try and delete that one. Let's see how the other side is going. So Doom players here are dominating, as you can see, even though the Centigores kind of went into the fight against the Doom players are basically taking no damage. And after the charge from the Wolf Rats, they're just stuck in like Clan Rats and fighting here. And as we see here, the two Ungors are kind of beating the Eshin Triads because they're just not designed to fight that. This summon will go away in 18 seconds, so that's fine. And even here, where again the Centigores ended up charging this Doom player, they're just losing the fight. And even though these guys will rout and run away, they'll come back. They ain't going anywhere. Oh, we got the Teeth Breakers, so they're gonna zone in onto the Jabberslite. Let's see if they get a volley off or not. Oh, that's a good volley. They are absolute Terminators when it comes to anything that is large, especially that is when it's this close. Like, they're just gonna delete this thing. And if he just runs away from both the spawn summon, which is gonna go away in 13 seconds, and from these Ungors, it's looking very bad for this Jabberslite that got 500 value, but kind of not much. And technically the Mutant Rat Ogre is also doing work here. It's fighting these Centigores, so it's technically shutting down the throwing axes that should be deleting the Doomflayers and the Rat Ogres here. And since they are fighting in the spawn, the Skaven is technically triple capped, but it's not as bad because they technically got these Teeth Breakers to kill the Jabberslite, and these Night Runners are just supporting. This guy has 60 armor, which isn't the best, especially in stuff like this. And the middle here is kind of even. They got routed, but these Doom players are just never gonna die, right? Where's the other Doom player unit? Here it is. It's just fighting some Centigores, and it's winning versus something that is kind of supposed to counter it. But they just don't have AP. And it seems like, yeah, even the Centigores are basically saying that Chimba thought that this was going to be like a high Storm Vermin build. And the Centigores throwing axes would just kill all of the Storm Vermin, basically. But yeah, this Doom player is getting like 500 value. This Doom player, again, 50% HP still, 600 value. Just farming Centigores, farming Pestigores, farming Ungors, all around. And yeah, the side here, side point, actually is gonna get captured by the Eshins. They kited far enough back to not be compromised, and then just got supported by this Rat Ogre and Doom player. The Teeth Breakers technically died, and let's see what their value is. They didn't pay for themselves, but they killed the most important thing, which was the Jabberslite, which was the huge terror-causing monster that would cause the most problems for this game inside. And this Mutant Rat Ogre, man, he's just fighting Centaur's throwing axes, which are supposed to counter him, but he's just running around dodging the Centaurs. And now you just have these like cheap slingers just coming back in. See, this guy has 300 damage. Damage is gold value. Like, he almost paid for him and his brother over here. So did the Night Runners, probably. Yeah, 300 almost paying for themselves. And yeah, even the Razor Gores, they're AP. So it just kind of seems that Chimba misread the situation and how Skaven are currently being played, or at least the option that is possible for him to play here, and just got counter builded here, or at least didn't counter build the enemy properly, with having too few Ungor Raiders and just everything in his entire build being built to literally counter Storm Vermintide, which in the end didn't matter at all. And now he just doesn't have enough to kill the Doom Players and the Rat Ogres, and just a cheap wall of everything that is just peppering him, right? These guys got 300 value, these guys got, what, 100 value, these guys got 400 value. So this guy paid basically for him and his brother here. And these guys, again, are gonna pay so much for themselves. He should, Opal definitely should be, like, doing some housekeeping. It's super important on Skaven, because you definitely do run out of stuff that is pretty important, like Clan Red Spears, pretty good. Also, these Rat Ogres, they definitely should, when they go off the field, immediately be resummoned. But yeah, I don't feel like in this game he just has the triple cap back now. He didn't get stuffed enough back into his objective, and honestly, he didn't have much to stuff him back into the objective with, honestly, because everything in the Skaven build is basically tailored to go against the type of army that that Chimba brought, right? Just beat down with cheap stuff, tie them down with cheap stuff, and then have your Doom Players and Rat Ogres carry within mass, and just have nothing to cast expensive stuff like the Purple Suns on. This guy all basically paid for himself, right? 1100, but did he really have an impact even though he paid for himself? Like, he couldn't kill the Lord because Spirit Leeches, this guy's basically immune to Spirit Leeches. He couldn't Purple Sun anything. Morgur probably did very well, even though his value is pretty low. He did have the summon of Chaos Spawn that ended up killing the Teeth Breakers, and he also popped the summon I saw during the game. The other one got popped. This is a nice Scorch. Yeah, Scorch is also very good. If you didn't know, the Overcasted Scorch has 450-meter range. So you can do some crazy shenanigans with that type of stuff in, like, sniping archers, for example. Here, I am sure that there were a couple of Greyseer overcasted Scorches that just killed a unit of Ungors, because that's like your main thing that you're afraid of here, right? You're afraid of Ungors peppering your entire army with, like, cheap arrows and then you losing. And very nice stuff from Opal here. He has the Wolf Rats coming in. There is a resurgence of Centaurs here in the middle, and these guys are technically finally being tied down with just unholy amounts of things, but this is still a good fight for the Rats, right? He has Ashens inside of Centaurs, as well as being supported by Doomplayer, Rat Ogre, and Mutant Rat Ogre. These guys aren't going to be there on their best legs. The only thing that potentially the Beastmen could do is try and Lord Snipe, but the Lord is just so far back, which is very smart from Opal. And yeah, he's trying to capture the objective from the side, but now he is going to get stuffed back into his spawn. Technically, something could happen in the stuffing here, where Rats have a tendency to overcommit into pushing if they, like, break a certain point here. So there could be a point where he just gets surrounded with everything, but yeah, there we go. There's the move commands that are happening, with Opal just going back, and because he knows the only way that he's gonna lose this game is with him overextending into his opponent's spawn and him just summoning a bunch of cheap spears that are gonna tie down all of his mass, right? And there you go. He even lost a Rat Ogre and a Doom Player here from the charges from the Centaurs and the Vanguard summoned Ungor Spearman. So he knows that this is his lose condition. If he goes too far in, he might still lose. The value is actually completely even, which it really does not feel like this. Like, if you look at the macro look at the battlefield, like, there's just infinity rats here, right? But again, it doesn't matter. The rats are totally fine with this because they're just going to summon a slinger that's going to pay for itself and it's going to keep shooting and it's going to be like a super good absorb of mega damage. But another miss from our boy Gracier here. Scorch actually does very decent damage, especially into unarmored stuff because it doesn't have much AP. And yeah, he's just has a death blob here that he's going to bounce from objective to objective with and try to contest and just kind of try to either flank fight the Beastmen or potentially even avoid them. Like, these Ashians are super good support for this type of army, right? He just ties them down while the Rat Ogres and the Mutant Rat Ogre try to beat them down. Even on this objective, which is supposed to be like the mainline fighting of the Beastmen, there are 3 Centaurs here. What are they going to charge here? Clan Rat Spears, which are braced and have charge reflection? They're not going to charge that. They're going to go for the Mutant Rat Ogre? That's totally fine, but Skaven has 2 more objectives here. And yeah, these Centaurs going to get surrounded, or oh, they might actually catch out these Wolf Rats that are trying to go into them. Oh, Opal sees it and then just does a charge. They're still gonna get crumped by the Centaurs. Centaurs are much better than Wolf Rats, especially on the charge. They're crazy. So this is a fine trade for Chimba, but he's not even having the capture weight, man, to contest this objective, which is crazy. These are Clan Rats full capture weight, Plague Monks full capture weight. Oh, and he summons the Dwarf Thing Menace, and yeah, it's over. Definitely a great showing from the rat side. Rats are super interesting currently to play. There are just so many things that you can do with them. Personal feeling and personal bias. But yeah, Mutant Rat Ogre paid for himself. Gracier just didn't die. That's his job here, especially with him ringing his bell to keep all of the other rats in play. Clan Rats did fine. All of them basically paid for themselves, which is really good. And yeah, when you go like a combined value look of all of these slingers, they all paid for themselves, right? And these are like just super cheap 7k HP things that you can stick and just pepper the annoying stuff with that doesn't have shields. And over the course of the game, they're super good. They really pay for themselves. Same with the Night Runners. Combined, they paid for themselves. Yeah, there you go. The Doom Flayers are the main carries in this game. Ashians did fine. Didn't do super well. Oh my god, this Plague Monk did the best. 1.1k on a Plague Monk. These guys are super susceptible to both magic as well as any type of archer fire because they have 10 armor, but they just seem to be fighting stuff that is really cheap. Gutter Runner poison, just there to apply poison to something. The Teeth Breakers, we basically saw that they killed the Jabberslite, which was their kind of their job. Wolf Rats actually did very well, which is interesting. Everything else, pretty good. Let's see the Beastman side. Morgar, not great, not terrible. He killed the Teeth Breakers. That doesn't show because some don't show in the value trackers. Pesties, yeah, these guys were the main losers here. Like Pesties and these Ungors. Ungors kind of did okay, but into just a swarm of rats, they didn't do the best. These guys were definitely the underwhelming side because he thought these guys would probably be fighting into Stormwarmen. Like if he had Slangors would have deleted most of this army here if they just weren't stuck in something like Doomflayers. Jabberslite, the most underwhelming thing. It's super garbage animations, so if it kind of like charges into the enemy and then it got ambushed by the Teeth Breakers, so it just got killed. And yeah, again, 2 more Pestigors. This was 100% an anti-Stormvermin army. And just 2 Ungor Raiders. If he had like 5, this army would have a much worse time. Chariot technically didn't even get summoned. Centaurs did very good. Razorgors, again, pretty bad. And actually, Pharaoh Manticore might have been pretty good here. Because I didn't see if I don't think the Gracier actually took Howling Warp Gale, and this is like a mobile terror piece, so with the Jabberslite dead, he could have summoned this to try and potentially hunt the Skaven Lord. I wonder why he didn't do this. But great showing from both players. Congrats to Opalbearblack, and yeah, we'll see him in the next game. This was the group stages and the first round of the group stages. Have fun and see you in the next one.